And this is A&B Convo's Wrestling Edition. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Welcome to A&B Convo's Wrestling Edition. Man. This is a sour day.
Sour. You for sure feel some type of way.
Yeah, we feel some type of way right now. I don't even know what to say. Who's in the chat here? Let's see. Who do we got? We have Arcel World. What's going on, Arcel? Quincy, David Tate, Rion. Love it. Carmelina, good to see you. Savion Dankster. KB Brown. Xzone 21. Dijon Fields. Brenton. Quantaven is in the house. Already got a super chat up in here.
Oh, what's up?
We appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, we don't even know where to go with this. So let's just get into this. It was rumored that there was going to be, and we love you too. Oh man, look at that right there. Thank you, Dave. Dayton says, I cannot believe that they never gave Scarlett and Mia Yim a chance. Yeah, don't even.
Wait, what? Wait, okay. First of all,
she didn't know everything. She didn't know everything.
I actually don't know. So before you spoil anything else for me, I obviously know of one, right? And I heard of another two.
She heard.
But I didn't even want to look in to see if it was clickbait. I didn't want to. I wanted to let's digest this on camera.
Let's talk about it.
So go ahead and run through the list so we can know.
We're gonna run through the list. First off, we got another super chat. Thank you, Dream Blissful Archives. Eva just returned and got released.
Okay, well, so there's another spoiler. I'm not sad about Eva. Sorry. I mean,
Thank you so much for that super chat. Thank you very much for supporting us and supporting the channel. We really, really appreciate that. It means a lot to us. Thank you so much.
I'm dying over here.
So let's get into this. I'm going to read the list. She has not heard the entire list. She heard a couple of names. So let's just go down the list here. As reported earlier, Frankie Monet.
What?
John Morrison's wife.
What?
Frankie Monet.
She just got here.
Of the Robert Stone brand. Also of the Robert Stone brand, Jessie Kamea.
Oh, you're hurt.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Jessie.
Oh, you're hurt. Okay, they just hired Frankie. They just hired her, and she had other offers, and she went. Ooh.
Let me finish the list. Ember Moon.
I'm sorry, what?
Ember Moon. Ember Moon.
WWE is bullshit. I'm sorry.
Katrina, okay, this is a family show.
I'm sorry.
We should have sent you
that.
I'm
sorry.
Katrina Cortez, Jeet Rama, Oni Lorcan, Trey Baxter, Zeta Ramir, Scarlett. Scarlett's man, Karrion Kross.
So you released the couple. They released two couples.
Karrion Kross of the just drafted from NXT to SmackDown of Hit Row, B-Fab. B-Fab.
They didn't even give her a chance.
Of Hit Row.
They did not even give her a chance. What did she fight? Twice?
Grand Metalik, Lince Dorado, Harry Smith, and some of the bigger names. Nia Jax, Eva Marie, Keith Bearcat Lee, and Mia Yim. All released due to budget cuts.
So you released two couples where their income came from you. You released a family, two families. And we are supposed to believe that WWE cares about their talent. I am so disgusted.
Yeah, so she didn't want to know.
Such not a family company.
She did not want to know all of the names beforehand. And what you saw was genuine shock and awe. When I saw this, I was otherwise occupied, shocked by what I saw.
I thought when I saw this, I thought that it was clickbait.
Let's talk about Nia Jax for a second. Right now, there's been a lot of stuff going on with Nia Jax, a lot of talk. She's unsafe to work with, has a bad attitude. We've seen her on Total Divas, so we know she can have a bad attitude. But you said it yourself. She is part of the Samoan dynasty,
right?
This
dynasty.
Bloodline.
And I really didn't think I really had this delusion that the bloodline would be safe because their family, they stick together, and you do not want that bloodline to start trickling somewhere else because they'll do it together.
Now, I honestly shouldn't be surprised.
I mean, if you are a regular of ours, you know we don't think Nia Jax is the best wrestler, right? And we do feel that she is dangerous in the ring. But right before she got injured, she stepped it up.
No, she stepped it up. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we saw a different side of her, and we started getting excited. And the fact that they could not figure out to bring her back and use her as a muscle in the Roman Reigns, then the whole bloodline thing is crazy to me.
What's up, Roland?
So crazy to me.
Jose Dawson, Spiky 2999. The Undertaker's in the house. The Undertaker's in the house. Let's acknowledge the Undertaker.
Wow.
We appreciate you. Tyann Johnson is in the house.
What's up, baby girl?
Tyann, take a look at the ticker at the bottom of the screen. A lot of big names: Keith Lee, Mia Yim, Nia Jax. You know, Nia Jax. There was some big names here. So let me just take a minute here, right? As you look at the names going across the screen, and I know they say this is in the name of budget cuts, right? We've seen some huge names you never thought would be on the chopping block cut. So my thing is this: number one, you just had Crown Jewel. You know the kind of money that they pulled from Crown Jewel. They are not hurting, as in WWE. They let go of some,
they are not
I believe, some executives earlier in the week as well, but they're not hurting. I actually recorded a couple of videos earlier today that I was going to tell you about, that I wanted to go live and discuss this. That there are two videos. One is McMahon himself talking about the beginning of the Attitude Era. And then the other one, which I've mentioned before, that we've shown a clip of the McMahons and Triple H saying, we haven't done a very good job listening to you.
That is here. So this is my biggest thing. They could take those budget cuts and they could shove them right where the sun don't shine, because we all know that that's bull. Okay. But here's the thing. You actually let us get invested in people, and you let them go regardless of what the fans think. You know what I'm saying? You don't care that we're invested in Keith. We're invested in Keith. The fact that you couldn't figure out what to do with Keith is your problem. You never had to try to fix him. He wasn't broken. You started making these stupid changes with him and Karrion Kross. You guys ruined their careers. You guys ruined their reputation. And then you let their whole family go, them and their fiancés, so that everybody is struggling together. No one has a no-compete clause. Like,
yeah, now, and here's the thing. So let's talk about this, right? Some of the bigger names from NXT. I mean, Oney Lorcan was a big name, but I mean, not necessarily Keith Lee big. But let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about four of the bigger names: Karrion Kross, Scarlett, Keith Lee, Mia Yim, who were all doing just fine on NXT when NXT was NXT,
right,
the black and gold.
Right.
Okay, not this 11 color nonsense.
When it was good.
When it was good. They knew what to do with their characters. We liked them for who they were. Keith Lee was a double champion.
Double champion.
Karrion Kross, also a champion. And you see something in these people that you say, okay, now we're going to bring you up. Now with Mia Yim, honestly, botched her right out of the gate.
and didn't even try to fix it.
Didn't even try to fix it.
Try. Just let her go back to being her.
Retribution was nonsense. Her first match as a Retribution member, she lost. And then that was gone. And I'm pretty sure she was like, hey, Vince, guys, so when am I coming up? Yeah, about that. You're not. Click.
Right.
Yeah, that's John Laurinaitis. So you now take Keith Lee and Karrion Kross, two of the bigger names. You say to yourself, we don't really know what to do with you. Nobody thinks that you're getting over as this. So now we're going to change you. We're going to get rid of Starlet. Just you're not even going to come out with her anymore. We're going to put a mask on you. We're gonna change your whole deal. It's going to be great. Okay, this is not working. I can't figure it out.
It didn't work for 2 weeks. We're just going to let him go.
And lost, right? When he first came out, lost. Keith Lee, you decide to take a name that has history in professional wrestling, in Bearcat. Give him this moniker and have him do dark matches. And now we're going to pull the trigger on this. You bring him out as a heel, and then you pull him back. And then you bring him back out, and he's shaved again. It looks like he's going to be a face again, and then you pull him back. And then you fire him.
Right, and this isn't about budget. This is about WWE botching wrestlers. You botched it. You can't get your show together. You can't hire decent writers. You have not figured out how to listen to your fans. And so you botch people that we're invested in. And then, which sucks on a professional level, but on a personal level, like I said, when you let the whole family go,
you basically took.
You are not a family
you took
business.
Food out of their mouth.
Right.
You're
only about your family. You don't care about your employees, which they all say when you leave. And then people say, why do they have to talk bad about WWE when they leave? Why can't they just leave? Because WWE does not care about their talent. They don't.
And I've said this before about employers. There's nothing wrong with being a good employee, right? You want to have a nice job and do what you got to do and be loyal to the company to a certain degree. But keep in mind, and I've said this to my family, I've said this to friends, and I'm saying this to professional wrestling. Professional wrestling, especially now, you're in a situation where nobody is safe.
Nobody is safe.
WWE was at one point the pinnacle. Mm-hmm. You figured I've made it. And now we're in a situation where nobody is safe.
Right.
How do you feel comfortable going to work knowing that this may be your last day? Now you're in a situation, I feel, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because, once again, as everybody said in the comments, you got AEW, who's no problem picking up what you dropped off and bringing them in. Now they've got two shows. They've got their Wednesday, they've got their Friday, they've got their pay-per-view.
And Impact is picking up too. Impact is picking up
too,
and people are starting to watch Impact.
So what are we talking about right now? I mean, we're invested in professional wrestling. We are fans, longtime fans of WWF, WWE. We, like you said, we're invested in these superstars that you've gotten us to believe in and get behind, that you then have destroyed. And what are we left with?
They didn't destroy themselves. You did that.
And people that you just brought on.
Right.
Right? So now, like, I'm looking at the Usos brother. Okay. Solo Sequoia.
Botched that debut so bad.
What do you, as a newcomer?
That was such a bad debut.
You must not feel very good. Basically, everybody in WWE right now who's a superstar, who's a wrestler, must not feel very comfortable going to work. And you feel like you want to do everything you can to get over. I'll do anything you say, Mr. McMahon. Just let me get out here and show you what I got. And what do you get for it? A pink slip. So what's the point? Why would anybody at this point want to go to WWE? Just because they say that you were a WWE superstar?
I think, like Mick Foley said, that new wrestlers, up-and-coming wrestlers, are learning that WWE may not be the place to aspire to.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but that even if you make it to WWE, they can in fact ruin and tarnish whatever reputation you've already created for yourself, because they cannot be trusted with people's careers. Look at Keith Lee now.
But this is what I don't get, right? Like, we just had the draft.
Right.
We just had the draft. And then you take these guys and ladies, change their whole character, change everything about them, repackage you. You basically say, look, guys, we're invested in you. I promise you it's going to be good. We're going to get you over. It'll be fine. You want to believe them. And then you get pulled. And then you get fired. And then you have to sit on your butt for 90 days watching these shows go by.
Are you allowed to quit?
You can be asked to be released from your contract. They may or may not release you.
But when they decide to fire you, they're saying, I'm releasing you from your contract. You should be able to say, no, I don't accept that because of your contract.
That's not how the contract
works. See, that's bullshit.
It should.
That's why the professional wrestlers need a union. So they could protect them.
Okay, interesting.
And they could actually understand the contracts they're getting into.
So the roster, we felt, was already thin as it is. You have Monday Night Raw and I was looking back at some old Attitude Era stuff. I've said this so many times. What people really don't understand who didn't come up in the Attitude Era and what made it so good. And this is not to say that everything in the Attitude Era was good. I mean, they went over the line several times. But the point of it is they were fighting for their existence. They listened to their wrestlers. They didn't stifle the competition. I mean, they didn't stifle their superstars. They let them go out there and be who they were.
Right.
Okay. Could you imagine if the creative wrote every single one of The Rock's promos or Stone Cold's promos?
And this is why AEW is so well, because every single one of the people coming out AEW is coming out in the character they are creating, they are envisioning, they are writing. And so that's what you're seeing again now. What they had in the Attitude Era is what they have at AEW, where they are the creative. They are their own creative.
Exactly.
Right. Whereas here, you're lucky if they even consider what you have to say about your own character.
So I know I had a brief conversation in the chat with Pro Wrestling Savage. He said he smells a possible sale. I know that's been floated in the past. It's possible. I think if the money is right, anything is possible. Never say never in WWE, but I think McMahon will try to hold on to the reins until he is literally buried.
Right,
for real. Not buried alive, but buried for real. But then what's going to come after that? I mean, the roster is already so thin. And you have people that we don't know. All these new names, all these new faces, especially in NXT 2.0. We don't know what's going on over there.
Right.
And then you released good people. I can't really fathom the logic, and then you want to tell us that it's not raining. You look outside and you can clearly see that it is raining when you say it's budget cuts.
Right.
Like that, this doesn't make any sense.
You know, it's so funny. We had the same conversation when they released Brody and when Bray was released, and we were so blown away, and yet we still act surprised when they do this to Keith Lee. You know what I mean? Or Mia Yim. And I mean, I just know for Frankie Monet, I saw her in an interview and she had several offers. She was talking to AEW and WWE. So I almost feel like, did you take her just because you didn't want AEW to have her? Because you really didn't give her a chance. Like, fine, you didn't like how she was going or where it was going. At least switch her character up. You gave her. That's like one of the shortest chances in history.
Well, at least they gave her a chance. What about Mia Yim? Mia Yim was a superstar in NXT.
Well, but I'm saying she was a superstar in NXT.
Yeah.
They didn't even give Frankie Monet a chance to change her character in NXT once.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You said they were going to use you on Raw or SmackDown, and this didn't happen.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Like, that, and it did not happen. So I think the question now is, what's next?
Well, I mean, for so many of these names, you already know that the top company, AEW,
but is AEW honestly going to just?
They're not going to take everybody. They're not going to take everybody, but they're showing that doesn't mean it's over. There are plenty of other wrestling companies coming up doing different things, right? Trying to get in the mix,
right?
And I think that like Keith Lee and Mia Yim and Scarlett and Karrion Kross may all end up at AEW. Nia Jax, yeah, I do. So Nia Jax, do you know how important it is for AEW to get a member of the Bloodline in their? Oh my God!
People are saying that the Bloodline's going to be upset. I wonder, because remember, Nia Jax came out with that Tamina T-shirt.
And you saw how Tamina was. I don't know if you guys have watched Jay's documentary, but Tamina was crying because she was so proud of Jay just to have the moment as he started moving up on the roster, because their family is everything. So you didn't just do it to her. You did it to the family.
Did it to the Samoan, and she is also The Rock's cousin. Let's not kid ourselves. Now, professional wrestling is what it is. As in, people know people get fired here and there, you get injured, things happen. This situation, these releases, this is a whole different level.
Right. But I'm telling you, if you don't think Tony Khan is like, oh my God, they just let
one of the
bloodline go. Oh my God.
What's up, Tamira?
You know he's all over that.
So let's see, what do y'all have to say? I mean, it's so sad that Keith Lee is gone.
Doesn't care about women. You're right, Tyann. Vince does not care about it.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. Let me talk about that for a second, because that's another video that I recorded. We will be doing that video. We will be doing a follow-up video to this. But let's talk about that. The investment in the women's division. Right? We saw what Stephanie said on, again, because we watched Total Divas, what Stephanie said to the Divas at the time, and they said you are no longer Divas, you will be superstars. She said you are on par with the men.
On par.
There's no longer any separation.
That's why you got this belt instead of a butterfly.
You had the McMahons, you had Triple H, and you had the entire roster on Raw. And Triple H said, women, come forward. Now we're going to do Evolution. Now it is your time. No longer we have 30-second matches. The fact that Stephanie would say that about her fellow females is disgusting. The fact that you have the McMahon name, the clout that you do, and you honestly could not push matches longer than that.
Right, because the hell if we're not back to 30-second matches. We are for sure. Because they'll have their main women, Charlotte and Rhea, Bianca, Sasha, and they'll be like, okay, Bailey, whatever, you guys will get a regular match.
And we watched
all the other women are pepper 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, just I don't know.
Well, there seems to be a little investment in NXT 2.0, but like we saw the other day with Mandy Rose and Toxic Attraction and Io Shirai came out. If you're going to hit somebody, hit them. If you're really going to legitimately do this.
Oh, not Io Shirai. You're thinking of Dakota Kai.
No.
You said Io Shirai came out, but Dakota Kai came out and hit her.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about this past week.
Oh, the ladder match.
Yeah, this past week. So essentially, if you're going to connect and get us to believe, because the whole thing about professional wrestling is kayfabe. Like we said many times, we know what pro wrestling is, we know what it isn't. The point is, it's entertainment, right? You're professional wrestlers. You get out here, you put your bodies on the line 300 days out of the year, but you're entertaining us. You want to keep it safe, but we cannot believe what we're watching if you're not legitimately touching your opponent.
Right.
If you're seen swinging and not even trying to connect, if you are literally hitting your own wrist.
Right. You're doing this, and we're looking at you hit yourself and not that person.
We can see you.
I don't understand. There's a camera in your face. I don't really get it. And it's interesting that you brought up with Io Shirai, because the ladder match was actually amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Well, they can do it.
And then right after that, you give us this main event. And that main event was the worst I've ever seen Raquel ever. Her and Mandy were horrible. It was horrible.
It was not good.
There
were a couple of moments, but
yeah, it had one or two okay moments. But the majority of that match was missed, not connecting. It was so bad for Raquel to lose her championship that way.
It was sad.
Insane.
And that's the whole thing. We will be lost in what it is that we're watching. We will no longer be invested in the reality of what it is that we're watching if you're just phoning it in. If you're not even trying. Everybody has a bad day. Everybody has a botched move. Things happen. Male and female, doesn't matter. We get it. What we're saying is week in and week out, we know this is not easy. We are not professional wrestlers. We can never do what they do, and nor will we ever try. But we know what pro wrestling should look like and shouldn't. We know when you hit your opponent and when you don't.
Right.
And if this is in an arena where you're way up in the bleachers and you can't really see, and you see the swing, and you see the reaction, you hear the thud, you're thinking, that's one thing. The camera is literally as close to you as the camera is to us. And it is zooming in. And we can see that you're doing this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. If you feel like as a professional wrestler, you don't actually want to connect, you're in the wrong business. If you don't want to be touched or hit or kicked, don't be a wrestler. Like, this is not the business for you.
Vince needs to retire. You're absolutely right about that, Tyann.
Shout out to Tyann Johnson, our baby, our daughter. Go check out Tyann Johnson's channel.
Whose birthday is?
Yes, and tomorrow she turns 21. Yes, happy birthday.
So give a happy early birthday to Tyann Johnson, if you would.
Yes.
Now, we've seen people get fired and then they get rehired and become queen to be. We've seen this.
No, we have seen that. And I actually don't. It sucks because there's a part of me that wishes Zelina wouldn't have given them the satisfaction. Yeah. I want them to have more Adam Cole moments. I want them to have more Big Show moments. I want them to have people walk out on them and quit and turn them down.
Well, there are contracts that are coming up.
Right.
And they may just walk away, especially now.
Everyone thinks Kevin Owens is going to walk away. What would he stay for? Is that why they're giving him a shot right now? They're giving him a push because they're scared he's going to leave? Or, I don't.
But again, we're talking about a lot. I mean, look at these names. I wouldn't have been surprised
if he was let go.
These are really big names. But the thing about professional wrestlers is that they're on the road all the time, and they're closer to each other than they are to their own families. Mm-hmm. So it's not like wrestlers that we just were just released. Like, these are people's best friends. These are for some, their entire family that are now gone. Now, they'll always connect, and they know that they'll land on their feet. They'll probably go to a different promotion. But for fans like us and like you do bonehead moves like this. And like we said, when you're no longer invested in the product, why are we watching you?
Right.
So if this is what you've chosen to do, you've taken these characters that we've grown to love and get behind and root for, and we buy their freaking merch.
Right. And they have the nerve to still sell all their merch, of course. You could still buy Bray Wyatt. You could still, obviously that's their business, but
it's beyond frustrating. Beyond frustrating. So let's see. Well, some of the people, Dro, what's going on, Dro? They don't answer my comment. It's okay, Dro. We will get you. Tamira wants something that's good. He ruins it. Tamira, 24/7 championship belt is a joke. Willie Williams. Let me just touch on this real quick.
Yeah, we did a whole video on that when it first came out.
Real quick, brother. Real quick. Mick Foley, hardcore legend. Everybody knows this. Put his body on the line, lost his teeth, lost his ear, lost part of his hearing. Was a hardcore champion. You took the Winged Eagle belt and made it a hardcore belt. Mm-hmm. And everybody was for it.
Yeah.
They thought it was a good idea to come up with one of the ugliest designed belts.
Yeah, we all thought they were bringing back hardcore title, and we were so damn
We expected them to pull it out of that bag.
So ready.
And we saw
vomit in a bag.
that 24/7 title is hideous. It's like they didn't even try. And everybody laughed in that arena. If you remember, and people said, what is this crap? This will be defended. This is a hardcore championship 24/7 anywhere. And that's what the hardcore championship was.
Right.
That's not what this is.
No, this is a total joke. And,
but that's why they gave it to R-Truth.
Right. And he did great with it.
Made it relevant.
But now I'm almost a little afraid. I was almost afraid I was going to hear R-Truth in there because they haven't been using him as much now that they have Reggie with flipping all over with the title.
Yeah, and there's nothing going on with that. That's all he's been doing is flipping.
We don't care that Reggie could flip. We like R-Truth because he's R-Truth.
And if you're going to get rid of somebody, why haven't you got rid of
Reggie?
Reggie?
But you didn't get rid of Reggie. Come on.
But let's talk about Eva Marie for a second. Now, we know plenty of people out there are not invested in Eva Marie. We had issues with Eva Marie, her first go around, her character business and not wrestling because she didn't want to put in the work. She didn't want to learn the craft, and she was gone.
Right.
How long has it been? 7 years or whatever it's been? 5 years since she's been gone?
Was that the first time? It's because she left and came back once. Oh, no, she went back down to NXT to train the last time. But I'm saying, I actually saw her in matches in NXT. Right
yeah, she did okay.
That were better than what she did when she came back.
But she's shown the ability to learn and have a little bit of craft. So when it was announced, the big evolution, right? They make this whole big to-do about her return. We were hoping we would see a different Eva Marie, a wrestling Eva Marie, and we didn't get any of that. We got a lackluster run with somebody that she renamed and is still carrying on that name.
And yet, and I know there's fans of Eva, so I want you to hear us when we tell you this isn't against Eva. This is also against the writers. They wrote her the same way she was when nobody liked her before. Oh, I'm not going to fight. I'm going to make excuses to not actually get hurt or get injured or get it. That didn't work when they did it the first time. They could have brought her back as anything. And they actually brought her back at the same thing that failed the first time and then tried to push her. And so it's not her fault. I don't think it's her fault at all. I think she was avoiding fighting because they told her to avoid fighting because they don't know what they're doing and because they keep ruining people. So I actually feel for her because I do feel like she came back and did what they asked her to do. And people didn't like it, but that's not her fault. It was stupid.
And that's the problem with creative. That's the problem with Vince because everybody knows Vince, the end all be all, starts and stops with him. Right. No matter what.
Right.
So you have, that's the whole thing. You have these people that are given creative ideas, just go out there and do it. And you bring her back, and then she gets injured by Shayna. We all know she's filming a movie right now. So she's thinking, hey, I'm back in WWE. I'm filming a movie. I'm on top of the world. And then you get a phone call, don't come back. That's like The Miz, who, unfortunately for him, did not make it on Dancing with the Stars. So sorry about that. Yeah, he did not. But that's like the Miz going to Dancing with the Stars and getting a phone call afterwards. Hey, we're so sorry you lost. By the way, you're fired.
And to be honest with you, don't think John Morrison wasn't waiting to see if he was getting cut when his woman got cut.
I mean, everybody's wondering
I'm
that.
sure he was like, do I have that email too? Like, let me just.
Exactly. So, I mean, this is what I'm saying. You take these people, you invest in them, you bring people back from yesteryear, you invest in them, and nothing. So again, what wrestlers need to do and what wrestlers need to understand, especially in today's day and age, is you with any job, with any employee, do the best job that you can, but don't act like they will not let you go. Don't act like you're not indispensable.
Right. And I just want to say about B-Fab as well. Honestly, she was just escorting Hit Row for a long time. You had her fight less than a handful of times and bring her up to not even. I don't
think they should have. I don't think.
And how does the rest of Hit Row felt? Like, no, they weren't. There was plenty to do on NXT.
Plenty.
There was no reason to rush them to the main roster. But they just didn't even give her, she didn't have a chance.
No, they didn't give her a shot. Who they did give a shot to was Ember Moon. Ember Moon is talent. Talent.
That's what, to me, that's one of the biggest names you just said. I don't understand. She is not liked. It's not like she has a following. She is, that's what I'm saying. She's a crowd. She's a fan favorite. You've never heard her get booed. She's Ember Moon.
Talent.
Just let her go.
Talent. Somebody that's not afraid to hit or take a hit, put her body on the line.
Yeah, I've never watched her and been like, she botched that. That was a bad match. Never.
At all. And I don't understand you brought her up to bring her back down. And she seems to have great success in NXT. Period.
Right.
Zero reason, but her last few matches didn't go exactly according to plan. It looked like they were going to do a character shift with her, and she gets the boot. You know, when you had Karrion Kross, and this is something that I also don't understand, when you have these champions, these NXT champions, the thing about professional wrestling is when they see something in you, see something enough to give you a shot at the title, and they actually put that belt on you, that means something. You did legitimately win that title. You earned that title. Because if they don't see that in you, you would never be a title holder.
So here's the thing. When you had Ember Moon, and she was partners with Shotzi Blackheart, that was great. That was great. They were great. It was great. The chemistry was great. It was great. We are short of women tag teams right now. Why did you just bring her up with her in the first place? They were a tag team. I just
but that's another point. Is that you bring Shotzi up, right? You one name her. There was nothing wrong with Blackheart. Didn't really happen for her and her new partner. They just rode around in a tank backstage. They had some matches. They did okay. Now that they parted ways, and now Shotzi is turning heel. There's potential for her on SmackDown. And I think now more than ever, what these people, especially those that have been called up, especially those that have gone on in different ways in the draft, I think in their mind they're going to say to themselves, we need to do everything we can,
of course,
to make sure that we stay in the conversation.
Of course, someone just got called up and cut within a week or two of each other. It's like, okay, let's see what some people are saying. I know our people got stuff to say.
So it's beyond surprising. Nia
Jax, I just want to say, I'm sorry, but I really do think, I thought they were finally going to put Nia and Tamina together.
What should have happened?
So ultimately the bloodline could have, you know what I'm saying? The bloodline would have all the belts.
We talked about that too, like with the bloodline invested, right? You have the strong Samoan women being tag team champions, just ruling. Why would you rename Solo Sikoa? We all know who he is for the most part, and if we don't, we'll research it. Have that be part of the bloodline. The bloodline runs all three brands. That's just smart marketing. If you're clearly invested in this bloodline.
Well, the way they brought him out, I didn't feel they were invested at all.
Well, who's to say what's going to happen now? I mean, he had a decent match on NXT a couple days ago, which I actually like his style. He's actually a little more hard-hitting than his brothers.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. It's not like you're not bringing in someone who's new to the game.
Right.
You're bringing in someone who was already successful and chose to go be as successful on the independent circuit before just talking to them. He didn't have to go that route. His family's already here.
Yeah.
He could have came straight here. He chose to go out there and make a name for himself first.
Now, interesting point. John Lee 45 says that WWE should go the way of Ring of Honor. So for those that don't know, Ring of Honor made an announcement that they're retooling their promotion, and they released everybody. Literally every single person on their roster has been released. Even if you're still under contract to them, you can wrestle for other promotions effective immediately. And I think that's a good thing. I've said to myself quietly many a time that WWE has lost their way and really needs to shut down and retool and think about what they said about giving the fans what they want. The whole point is this. The whole thing is this. And I've said this before. The fans, whether that be professional wrestling, whether that be movies, whether that be television, the fans are the employers.
Right.
We are the ones that tell you what we like and don't like.
Right, because your ratings tank and the network will pull you and you will not have an audience.
And so the fact that the McMahons would even acknowledge that shows you that what we're saying is correct. But there's this arrogance.
Yeah.
Of we know everything. We know what we're doing. We're not going to listen to you anymore.
And I think they have an attitude of they'll get over it. I'm sure they won't like this, but they'll get over it. I just feel like that's what's being said.
Bray Wyatt in a COVID world with the Fiend character saved Raw from utter disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And you just took a box, shat in it, presented it to the WWE Universe and said, here's a guaranteed piece of this is what we did with this character. And then you release it. So these people put their bodies on the line. Jon Moxley, we just saw, my man is now going through some personal stuff. He needs to take some time. He needs to go to rehab and get himself together. Professional wrestling is not easy.
No, and it's you got to understand that it's hard on you in every way. So if you're a wrestler, it's obviously hard on your body physically to do that all the time, right? And so you're in pain and you want to wind down, and so drinking and prescription painkillers or whatever kind of drug is a norm when you're in constant pain, and especially when you need to perform again the next night. And then on top of that, you're always on the road, you're always on the go, you're away from your family, unless your family is on the show with you. I mean, it really takes a toll on them. And so drug and alcohol problems are just really common in that world because it isn't set up. It's set up for hard, tough people to just try to figure it out and get through the next day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Which also is something that one of the things with AEW is that they really are trying to be a family business. Yeah. Not that they don't have drinking going on and stuff, obviously, but what I'm saying is that you know, from the very beginning, if you were listening to them behind the scenes, it was like WWE was not set up for families to be successful. Right. And AEW wants to be a family company. And so that's one of the other reasons I think that they are doing so well.
So I think the really unfortunate thing is when you have, and I've said this in the beginning of this broadcast, is with your employer, the bottom line here is, and I've said this before in a movie that I like, no one is bigger than the game. And that's something that no matter how big you are, no matter who you are, whoever's in charge, whether that be Tony Khan or Vince McMahon, they'll tell you to your face, we got you, we'll invest in you, and then they'll fire you. And not think twice about it. You have to give a 2-week notice when you quit your job so they can find somebody else to replace you. But they will fire you at the drop of a dime.
And we will escort you out.
And we will escort you out. And then that's essentially what they're going to get. So now they're going to get a nice little care package, like that crappy care package Mickie James got when she was released. That somehow, some way came in a trash bag. Former women's champion. So I think it's really unfortunate that we have to do this again. That we have to do another breaking news, more releases. And I think it's really a question of who's going to be released next, who's going to be next, and why at this point, WWE, Vince McMahon, Triple H, Stephanie, Shane, why are we still invested in your company?
Yeah.
I am I was thinking about this earlier. I am a Star Trek fan. I love Star Trek. I like Star Wars, but she knows this. I am a Star Trekkie person. Not every movie was good. Not every TV show was good, but I watched it all because one thing directly affected another, and I just kind of had to see where the story was going to go.
which is why you've stuck with wrestling as long as you have.
And that's how I feel right now
Through
with
the good and the
WWE.
bad, yeah.
Back in the day, you didn't know what was going to happen week to week. You didn't know who was going to show up on WCW. You didn't know what was going to happen when you turned on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. But what you did know is that you were in for one hell of a ride. Those 2 hours, those 3 hours were going to be action-packed insanity. Those pay-per-views, off the chain. That was guaranteed. Now, we're talking about a 3-hour bore, a 3-hour
right,
bore.
and you want to do budget cuts, cut the extra hour on your boring show instead of cutting people.
2 hours. 2 hours. There's no way that they can seriously be invested in a third hour for no good reason. There's no reason for that right now. If you want to really tighten your belt, why would you go through this whole big to-do about bringing people back and investing in them just to fire them a few months later? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, this is ridiculous, Jody. You're right.
So, I mean, yeah, Jody, we feel you. Rolling, preach. David Tate Jr. was actually subscribe to Tyan's channel, so that's really awesome.
Oh,
thanks, for
David
that.
Tate. Thanks for the support for our daughter. Subscribe to Tyan Johnson.
So you know who's next? I mean, the entire Riot Squad got dismissed. Liv Morgan had a push. You know she's over here shaking it. Her man got released, right? So it's essentially her whole family got released. Is she going to be next? Who was next on the chopping block?
I might have actually shed a single tear if they would have let Liv go. But you're like you said, you have,
what are we talking about?
Trust me, when the minute they heard like Keith Lee, the minute that they heard Ember Moon, you got to know everybody was like,
but you invested in these people.
Am I next?
Like, I don't understand. You make T-shirts. Like, you made a whole thing. When I first saw this news today, I was so flabbergasted. I was so frustrated.
I really thought it was clickbait because my mind was like,
I don't understand. You get us invested in these characters and you Walking Dead them. You Negan them to death. It's what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, it makes you not want to get invested in new people.
Thank you, Vibes2K. Appreciate you. That was awesome. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we don't want to keep going on and on and on. We could.
We were thinking about starting up a podcast so we could rant once a week, but
anybody interested in the podcast?
I don't know who really listens to podcasts.
Yeah, let's riot. I like it, Tyann. I think we should. I think we should go to Stamford, Connecticut, and burn that mother to the ground.
Hell no, Keith won't go. Hell no.
And I know everybody's absorbing it, and I'm pretty sure the majority of these wrestlers are going to release their lovely. I want to thank everybody for so much, and saving face, being good guys.
I would love if one of them just had a little emoji middle finger up.
I would love a Cardi B response because Cardi B would not sit quiet. I can tell you that right now. I mean,
they already know the minute if you don't do something like that, the audience is gonna. The universe has been so unforgiving lately. So many of them, and I'm amazed at how amazing our fans are. For real, you guys. Once in a blue moon, we have people who come at us crazy or who misinterpret or what we're trying to do, and we have to block them. But for the most part, we just have the best.
So you guys are fantastic.
You guys are fantastic. We know how to agree to disagree without being disagreeable, without getting crazy. And at the end of the day, everybody just loves professional wrestling. So we're all hurt together, but we all, like you said, want to see not only where these people are going to show up. So this is just making us want to watch other wrestling shows. You know what I mean? But we still want to see what's going to happen because we have been invested in.
Yeah, we'll still watch because we do want to see what's going to happen with some of these other people. Because now we're all in. We're all in. We watch other promotions.
Right.
You watch AEW, you watch Impact, we watch other promotions for sure. We will watch, but honestly, if you have not noticed, we were doing NXT reactions prior to 2.0. And we are just not feeling 2.0. It has a couple of moments here and there, but I don't know what this is. It burns. I wear sunglasses when I watch NXT 2.0. It's very bright. Making becomes WWE superstars. We appreciate that. I feel like Dana Brooks. Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised Dana Brooke is still on the roster.
Yes, I cannot believe she hasn't been cut yet. How the hell did you cut Scarlett and Dana Brooke is still there?
Yeah, but it's also crazy when you see, like, they've been showing backstage the ladies watching, like, on the monitor, and you can, it's all on one hand. Like, the roster is paper thin.
Paper thin.
And at this point,
I'm very surprised Dana Brooke was on there. And I wouldn't have been that surprised if they let John Morrison go, to be honest with you, because, I love him. But the minute they separated him from Miz, I'm like,
well, now that Miz is done with dancing,
we'll see what they do.
They might bring him back. So I don't know. But for me, for NXT, I was invested in that brand forever. And I was a fan of the Robert Stone brand. That is no more. NXT as it was is no more.
You were a fan of the Way.
I was a fan of the Way. The freaking Way. And you do this storyline with Index. And there's been no Index.
Someone said today that Johnny Gargano got moved up to the main roster. But when the hell did that happen? I was going to say that would have happened today.
Did not happen. Unless something happened that we're not aware of, but he was just on NXT
last week, right?
So no, that has not happened. But yeah, I mean, you take the stuff and you get us to love it, and then you just you crap on it. You crap on us. That's the whole point. WWE and Vince McMahon, and with these releases, you can't honestly be that dense to think that people are not going to feel some type of way about this.
Kicking It With Leo just subscribed to our daughter. Thank you, Kicking It With Leo, for subscribing to Tanya Johnson. We appreciate it.
Still got something up there. So, what up, Kayun? Reunite one more time. I mean, hey. I don't know, man. I'm not happy. And I don't think anybody in the WWE should be happy right now.
Lacey Evans had a baby.
Yeah, she had a baby, and honestly, she should just stay home beyond extended maternal leave forever. Just don't come back right now, because even if you did, could you imagine? Fired? Yeah, could you imagine if she comes back and she just gets the can? Right.
At least they probably won't fire on maternity leave because they don't want people to think they're messed up. But look at Mercedes Martinez. I mean,
she got knocked out.
Mercedes Martinez, they were giving her camera time. She had the attitude. She had the look. She was tough in the ring. She brought it every time she came out there.
Long-time wrestler.
She puts herself on her body on the line. She gets knocked out during a fight. You fire her while she's home injured and bring the person who knocked her out up to the main roster.
Who hasn't yet to debut?
Who hasn't actually debuted yet?
By the way.
Yeah.
Tanya, go ahead and let the people know what your channel is. Say that in the comments. Yeah, if you missed that knockout, I felt for her. That was like a UFC. That was a hit to the temple. Her whole body froze, and she went headfirst into the mat.
Oh yeah, no, you had to rewind that and watch it in slow motion a few times because you could actually see when her lights just kind of turned off in her eyes. Like
terrible.
Like that
and then you're home recouping, thinking, okay, I'm about to get back to it, and then you get that Laurinaitis phone call. No, you're not. Stay home. Nobody wants you here. Click.
What happened to good luck in your future endeavors?
They don't care about that crap. Okay, good luck in your future endeavors. They do not care. WWE brass does not care about your future endeavors. They don't care about what the fans want. And we're going to do that video so you'll see what we're talking about.
You know what's funny is that the Bella twins have teased coming back many times, right? Well, lately. But then Nikki was told that it didn't look like she would be cleared to wrestle anytime soon, like the doctor was like, But wouldn't it be crazy if she actually did get cleared and the Bella twins popped up on AEW?
I mean,
John Laurinaitis is their stepfather, so that would be a real big problem at Thanksgiving, I assume, but it would be so
I'll tell you what.
funny.
I'll tell you what. In protest,
right.
I would think that some WWE superstars should show up and just be in the audience.
Just be
AEW.
Supporting. Just like,
Supporting.
We're just fans of AEW.
Why not?
We don't go here. We're just there's a no compete clause.
We're not competing.
There's nothing against being a fan in the audience.
Got a ticket.
Woo, AEW wearing their shirts. Oh,
got a ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, and why not? Go ahead and fire me.
Why not?
Go ahead and fire me.
Every single person listed, you guys should get together, get some AEW shirts, and go be in the front row of Dynamite.
Yeah, people are asking about Alexa. So, what's going on with Alexa?
I know.
I mean,
seriously,
she's taking a little bit of time.
I don't think she would have been on. But
then
again,
but honestly, who thought Nia Jax would have gotten released?
I don't know. I don't know what I think.
Women's champion.
I can't even think that anymore. Like,
of all the names here that are really shocking, aside from Keith Lee,
she was champion for a minute.
Nia Jax.
She was champion for a minute.
Didn't think it was going to happen, and it did. So nobody's safe, and it's a real shame.
Okay, we should read a few of these before.
Yeah, Keith Lee is a great wrestler. Like you, has so much potential, and it just come crashing down. WWE just don't care about talent.
Yep.
Not like they should. Not like they should. Thank you for that, K-Yoon. We appreciate that, brother. Cousin The Rock, Nia Jax, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
For sale, maybe. They really do make video. Thank you very much for time. Yeah, we do. Honestly, Tyan said we tried our best to make our videos the best. And I'll be honest with you. Every time we go live, and maybe it's just a personal thing, I get scared because I always say to her, nobody's going to be here. Nobody's going to be in the chat. It's going to be a disaster. I don't want to do it. But y'all always show up because you care about us and our channel and wanting us to talk about this with you and vice versa. So it means.
And when we get news like this, the first thing we want to do is come talk to you guys about it.
Come talk to you.
So as soon as I saw a quick picture, and I was like, this better be clickbait. I called. I said, have you heard the news? And he said, we're going live. And that was it. And so we actually waited to have this conversation with you guys. We didn't even talk about it.
Didn't even talk about it. I didn't want to know. I was going to tell her. It's like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. And then she'd be like,
nope.
Like, hello?
I was like, no, I want to discuss this with you guys because you guys make being a wrestling fan fun. So
thank you, Michael. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you, Tyann, Glenn, Quadri, Tamira, Jody, David. Oh, man. We got so much love up in here. Parks Wolf, Zacho the best. Nia carried the pandemic era with the ugly home tag belts. Yeah, that's the thing. Let's not forget the Thunderdome era. That was rough.
Yeah.
That was rough. Before that, does anybody remember what it was like when they wrestled and there was nothing in the arena?
Oh, my gosh. No.
Silence.
But the first night, and they didn't know that the camera was still on during commercials, and Sasha was just chilling on the ring, and the camera was on, and they were like, "God, disaster!"
But everybody had to step up, and they did what they could.
And really though, the Usos and Miz and John Morrison, they really kept it entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
They really did. That's when they started doing the videos, cutting the song promos. They really stepped up and figured it out.
So I mean, a lot of these guys are going to be okay. I mean, they'll probably take some time for sure, even after the 90-day non-compete clause is done. I'm sure they'll take some time to just kind of figure it out and talk to some people.
And in the meantime, we can wait. We're all waiting on pins and needles to find out where Bray is about to pop up at. Because just like he posted, he was counting down to the no compete clause was over. And then Matt Hardy posted like he's almost free. And so, all of us are just waiting.
But I kind of feel, so now we have Smackdown coming up tomorrow. I wonder if we're going to see Hit Row at all. Or if they're just going to not be there because we've said this, every good faction needs to have at least one strong female, and we're seeing that. And the fact that you got rid of that one strong female, like you said, didn't even give her a chance, and you initially had a thing going in NXT. I don't know. I don't know. I'm really concerned about what WWE going forward is supposed to look like. You know, it's just I'm not feeling it. Are we going to start reacting to AEW? So here's the deal. We talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
AEW
does not play.
They don't play.
So in the YouTube world, when we do a reaction, that material is copyrighted, right? There are laws that allow us to use copyright material for reacting, reviewing, and teaching. But in the YouTube world, they do not care about you quoting that law or using that law. All they care is WWE owns this material, AEW owns this material. And if they say you can't use it, even in the way the law says you can use it, then we will pull your whole channel. They give you 3 strikes, right? So all the work we do to put in to build this relationship with you guys and doing AEW videos, from what we know from other YouTubers, from other wrestling YouTubers who had channels bigger than ours, and their channels were cut from because of AEW and they had to start over. So even when they use just a little bit of AEW or try to do it with no sound or try to say we're just reviewing this, AEW does not allow you to use their material. So we can review it. Like we could start saying this is what happened on AEW, and kind of like we probably just need to start doing our news segment more often because we always included AEW then. But reactions,
that's a tough call.
We just are scared. We don't want to lose our channel and have to start from scratch and lose all you guys.
Because if we do, I will burn YouTube to the ground.
You're trying to burn all kinds of stuff.
I am heated right now about what has happened. But yeah, see, we should do reenactments. Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, Tyann.
That's
how you know that's our daughter.
All right. We will definitely be looking into that. So I think that's it for now. We've said a mouthful.
We said a lot. And I know we didn't interact with you guys as much as we usually do because we hadn't had this conversation yet. But we just had to get all that off of our chest. Yeah. And we know you guys feel just as strongly as we do about a few of these people, you know. So we're there with you in heart, in spirit, in frustration.
Dylan Walker does not think that Eva Marie has been released, really. I can pretty much tell you it would be nice if that were the case for her. Mm-hmm. But
I mean, she's being listed on the other, like there are actual news sites, you know, he went to get this list. So if they reported incorrectly or if they were misinformed.
But it's possible. I mean, that, like we said, people have been released and people have been brought back. Like it has happened. I know a lot of people question Zelina Vega's mindset in doing so. Guarantee you. And the fact that she's queen of the ring, essentially, will prove to you that she had some stuff written in that contract. She was not forced to go back. She was not legally obligated to return to WWE, but she did. And in doing so, you know, you got some money coming in there. A&B Roman versus Rock for Beast. Oh, gosh. Well, we'll see what happens with The Rock. The Rock is supposedly, allegedly, possibly coming back to face off against the one and only Tribal Chief. We will see what happens with that. So I don't know. Yeah, we will have another video. We do want to do the ones that I mentioned earlier and just kind of talk about that just a little bit. So we'll get that out to you as soon as we can. Make a call, Jimmy. Make a call. We appreciate you, Jody. Thank you all, honestly, for showing our daughter Tyann some love.
And happy early birthday to you, Tyann.
Happy early
21
birthday.
Years old tomorrow. Do not get wasted.
If W continues to release all your favorite, that's Roland. True words were never spoken, man.
I could tell you if they were to release the Bloodline, I would be done. You would have to be A&A conversation with myself because I wouldn't stand for that.
Yeah, y'all love The Rock a little too much. And on that note, I think it's time to go because we will not be talking about The Rock or Roman Reigns. So thank you all for rocking with us for this.
I'm here with you, baby. What? Come on.
Did somebody else need to get released here, Oos? Did somebody need to get released, Oos? They don't hit me. Don't hit me.
Did you just threaten to release me?
Don't hit me. Don't hit
me. Did he just threaten to release me? Okay. I'm good. I'm not gonna hit you. Not now.
Get chocolate wasted, Tyann. Love everybody for coming up in here and really rocking with us. It means the world to us. We've got to get some other content out to you guys because this is some bull squad. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is some bull squad.
Yeah, we'll have to. We're pretty upset. We'll have to do a news edition so we could let Betsy Bedwetter.
Yes, and I think it's time for John Ganoff. That's it. Thank y'all for coming back for some more A&B Combos.
Wrestling edition.
We got some more content coming for you, so that is it for us. Thank y'all. Have a good night.
Have a good night.